Everyone made money. Is that part intriguing me most?
I have to caveat, a couple things, right? I can never guarantee, even legally, I can never guarantee people are going to make money, right? I can't give that guaranteed out in the world. But I will say we've been doing this a decade. No investor of mine's ever lost money on a deal. No investor of mine's ever been in a deal that they couldn't get out of. And 100% of our inner circle members have made money. And so, that's a pretty long track record. That's a great history.
本影片由房地产投资信托 Red Diversified 赞助播出，$1000起投，让 Red Diversified 为你创建真正的被动收入。打开视频下方连结，只需要几分钟即可在线完成投资。
我是北美掘金YongmingU，我在美国德克萨斯州向你问好。如果你是第一次看到我的视频，我是一名全职的房地产投资者，同时我帮助全球数以千计的人通过投资美国房地产来建立自己财富。关注我的频道，这里有数以百计的视频，帮助你从一开始就把美国房地产投资做对。如果你要问我美国房地产投资以及建立财富最重要的秘方是什么，那么我会告诉你获得相应的知识，获得培训，以及很重要的就是让你身边有高手环绕。如何让你身边有高手环绕呢？在美国有一个很好的方式，就是加入高手的小圈子，这种小圈子叫做 inner circle。 今天呢，我们请来一位高手，他是多次在我的节目当中出现过的美国房地产投资信托 Red Diversified 的创始人和 CEO Dutch。过去10多年来，他也有自己的一个小圈子，有自己的一个 inner circle。 加入这个小圈子的人呢，都能够获得独家的房源，这些房源呢，往往是非常非常值得投资的房源。而且更好的是，你是可以跟他做 joint venture， 就是2个人合伙来投资这些房子的。这样做的好处呢，如果说你还是一个新手，刚刚开始投资，你没有那么多的自信，那这个时候有一个高手跟你搭伙，那显然对于你来讲是非常非常有益的一件事情。而且让人非常惊讶的就是，过去10年的时间当中，凡是加入 inner circle 跟 Dutch 来合作的人，没有一个人赔钱，所有的人都赚了钱。他是怎么做到的？今天呢，就请他来跟大家来聊一聊，看看他的 inner circle 是怎么运作的，他是不是适合你。如果你听完之后真的感兴趣的话，可以联系我的同事，我们把联系方式呢也放在今天视频的下方，告诉我们一声，然后呢我们就可以把你和 Dutch 连接起来，也许呢这就是你成功投资的开端。接下来呢，我们看一看 Dutch 是怎么讲的。 Let's talk little bit about your inner circle.
Yeah, we just came off an inner circle retreat. It was great. We had, I want to say 100 of our investors at the inner circle retreat, and every single one had invested into a deal. Every single one had made money. Every single one, is having success with us. And it was really great retreat. When you walk into a room of your investors, and everyone's made money, and you walk into a room of investors and everyone's been through the ups and downs together, right? Real estate's an imperfect business, but at the end of the day, we've overcome, we've persevered, we've made money, and we continue to make money together. There's just no better feeling in the world.
Everyone made money. Is that part intriguing me most?
I have to caveat, a couple things, right? I can never guarantee, even legally, I can never guarantee people are going to make money, right? I can't give that guaranteed out in the world. But I will say we've been doing this a decade. No investor of mine's ever lost money on a deal. No investor of mine's ever been in a deal that they couldn't get out of. And 100% of our inner circle members have made money. And so, that's a pretty long track record. That's a great history. I'll give the other disclaimers now too, right? Past performance doesn't indicate future performance. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not an accountant. I'm not a tax advisor. I'm a REIT owner. I'm a REIT investor. I'm a real estate investor. And everything I share is from experience, background, from this incredible team of people that I get to work with here as I look at some of my team members every single day.
Yeah, let's talk about the past performance. So how did you do that? How did you help all these investors make money?
Yeah, so the inner circle started off with just a really easy concept, right? We just gave education. We just did education for a long time, and I was, probably a little bit like you, Young, as I went out and I taught and I did trainings, and I helped people, grow, and understand and learn real estate. But then they kept coming to me and saying, Dutch, will you invest with us? Dutch, will you invest with us? And for a while, I didn't really want that responsibility. But eventually, I gave in. I said, okay, I'll invest with you. I said, but I control the transactions. I control the details. I control every aspect of the business, but I will invest with you. And you put in 50% of the money. I'll put in 50% of the money. And at the end of the day, we'll split the profits 50-50. And we started doing deals. And it started off with just 6 members. We had 6 inner circle members was the first group. We did our first retreat actually in Vancouver, Canada, because one of the guys I did a lot of business with lived in Vancouver, and he said we'd have a great experience. All of those investors did deals with us.
So at this stage,
just me.
Yeah.
I mean, I had probably 5 employees as a company, but it was mainly just me doing the deals, updating them, giving them details, doing the rehabs, doing the construction, doing the acquisitions, doing the buying. And I say just me, it was me and my partner, Amy, right?
Okay.
And we had another partner. So it was just a couple of us doing it. But mainly, I led the way when it came to doing the inner circle deals. And, that was great. And we learned a lot. We learned what their expectations were. We learned, how to handle things when things went wrong. And we're talking a long time ago. Now you fast forward all these years later, and we have 300 members. All that do deals, all that make money. It's a lifetime membership once someone joins our inner circle. I always say if you're making money with someone and it's a pleasure, then why would you ever stop? So we continue to do deals, and we do deal after deal. And now the inner circle has expanded to beyond just 50-50 deals. We've had, people partner into, land deals with us. We've had people partner into crypto investing with us. We've had people partner into other alternative investing with us. And so, we've just created an investment vehicle where people can, play their 3 buckets: their low risk, their important risk, their moderate risk, and their high risk buckets, right? And so, those are all things, that we've been able to balance for them, and constantly give people a way to keep their money working, keep their money moving, and where they don't have to put in a lot of effort. They can be as involved as they want to be, or simply be 100% passive. We find a lot of our investors want to know what's going on, and they want to know what's happening, but they're not looking to swing a hammer. They're not looking to go knock on the door of somebody who's going to do foreclosure and convince them to sell, right? They're not looking to, deal with lenders and, as lenders change rates and change times during different economic times, and they're not looking to deal with rehabbers and construction workers and those kind of things. And so, they've able to depend on us and our teams of people to be able to do it. And it's pretty crazy. You think we have 300 members, and if the average real estate deal is, $300,000 and, they do 3 deals a year. Well, you do the math. That's a lot of real estate we're conducting every single day.
Yeah. So it's your team who funds these deals and brings them to the investors, right?
Yeah. It's our teams that do that every single day.
So and
it's in different cities. I mean, we have our California team, Florida team, Houston team, which is Texas, and our, Pennsylvania, New Jersey team. And then obviously we have our teams that do, other alternative projects like our farms.
So at the early stage, you acquire these properties mainly from tax sales. Is that correct?
Correct.
So
we'll buy properties from tax sales this year too. A tax sale is a really good, solid investment strategy. But we use all the tools in our tool belt. We're not a one-trick pony when it comes to real estate. We do all types of real estate. We acquire pre-foreclosure, we acquire non-foreclosure, we create value add, we do new construction, all facets of real estate. And being rad diversified is for a reason. In a marketplace that's constantly evolving and changing, when you're diversified, you can adjust, you can adapt, you can change with the times, and that just makes a lot of sense.
Let's say someone new joins your inner circle. So what would he or she get?
Yeah.
So when they can get the deals, the information about all these properties they can invest in. What other things they get?
Yeah, they definitely want to do it. So when they join the inner circle and they're part of it, they'll immediately get a phone call from our team. First, they'll get a compliance call, from one of our company liaisons that walks them through, every aspect of what we're going to do with them. And she's going to make sure that, their emails are right and that they get logged into their portal, so they can, look at their assets once they invest in them. That she's going to make sure and get them into the educational portal. And so she's just going to give them, some hand holding, to make sure they know exactly, where their starting point is. They're going to get a call from their inner circle coordinator. So their inner circle coordinator is one of our team members that is their personal liaison with our company. Any aspect they need, any question they have, anything about a deal or a transaction that they have a person that's their go-to at all times. We have a strong philosophy that no call, no request, no information asked for goes 24 hours without a response, without an answer, right? If it was sent today, our target is before end of day, it's responded to. And even if we don't have an answer, because sometimes you don't have an answer, somebody might say, well, how much did this cost, in the rehab? And we might have to go to the contractor and they come back to us and they tell us, and it might be the next day, but that same day we respond to them and say, hey, we're getting that information for you. Expect a response within, 36 hours or 48 hours or 2 hours. And we're going to get to you. And so your inner circle coordinator, will be handling that with you step by step. Now that they've had those 2 phone calls, the next thing is the deal list. So they're going to get the deal list and they're going to be looking at a set of deals that they can invest into. Now, on those deals are all types of information. There's information about, what their cost to buy in to the asset with us is, how much the property is going to be worth, what's our loan on the property, how much the rehab on the property is, and what our potential profit is. And usually pictures, of the properties too. And so, at that point, we walk them through and we try to fit a deal that's to their strategy, whether they're doing a burst strategy or they're doing a fix and flip strategy, and things adapt and change, with time. And so depending on what type of deals fit, their strategy and what they're looking to do, or what types of deals fit the economy and the market that's going to make the most amount of money, we'll work through that with them and help them make good decisions, when it comes to, the properties to invest into. Usually all this happens within the first week. Then they say, I want to do that property. So now we take that property off of the list of properties that are available to joint venture into. So now they would joint venture into that property. They'll get what's called a joint venture contract that our legal team has created. That's a contract between us and them, and it lays out all the aspects, what they're buying in for, what all decision making is on the property, any other relevant information, what entity, they're buying in, whether they're doing it through an IRA or a 401k or a Roth, or they're doing it through, just their personal bank accounts. It has all of the relevant information. And so, obviously we sign that, they sign that, and now they're a partner on a property. Well, they got to send the money over for their half of the deal, but they send the money over. Now they're into a deal with us. Now that they're into a deal with us, they'll get look at their what's called Appfolio login, which is our online portal. So we've worked for a long time to build the online portal, so they can go in and see everything that's going on with the property, every dollar that's paid to a rehabber, pictures of the property that are updated, timelines, accounting sheets, everything that's going on with the asset, we keep in their online portal.
So they don't talk to the rehabbers. They don't talk to the.
No.
Okay.
No. I mean, I'm not saying that I've never had an inner circle member talk to a rehabber. A lot of our inner circle members will make a trip and they'll go visit their property while it's in the middle of construction. And I encourage that. I like inner circle members, who see what's going on. But, I gave you a great example. Jan joined the inner circle 6 years ago. I don't think he's ever seen a single property that he's owned, but he does deals every single year with us, and he's been growing his portfolio. I believe, he's one of our legacy members, and, our legacy members of people that have been in the inner circle a long time have done over 7 figures, in real estate with us. And, I don't think he's ever been, to one of the properties that he's bought or purchased. And I don't know how many he's up to. I don't know if he's up to 15, properties owned or 12 properties owned. I haven't, checked in on it in a long time, but I know he's over 10. And so, but he's never lifted a finger. And then I got, other members that have seen every property they've ever owned. They visited every property they've ever owned, and they need a lot more updates and a lot more handholding, and they're, just a lot more into it. And I get that. Either way, we've set up our system to be able to service both personality types and both need bases. And that's important to us because, I can't treat you like everyone else because, you have exactly the information you need to feel comfortable, and I think for our investors that they feel protected, they feel comfortable, they know they're making good decisions, they know that they're making money, and they're being communicated with regularly, are 5 key points that, every member has to know.
So your team coordinates renovation projects and also do the management, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we do all the property management from start to finish. All the leasing,
Okay.
deal with all the tenants. We handle the entire thing. And the thing is typically with us, you're going to make more money than as an individual just because, we're professionals at it. We've been doing this a long time and we know how to manage properties. We know how to deal with tenants. We know, how to make sure an eviction doesn't take 2 years. It takes 30 days. And so, this is what we do.
Okay.
A long time ago, I learned a very valuable saying, let professionals do what professionals do.
Yes. Right. So when you do the joint venture with an investor, you put money 50-50, and then the profit you split 50-50.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's it in its simplest form, right? We've had investors come in for 25% of a property. We've had investors come in for 33% of a property. We've actually had investors buy 100% of a property, and then we manage and ran the whole process from start to finish for them. So, all 3 are, potential, scenarios that can happen.
Okay. Besides those investment opportunities, what else values would a inner circle member get from this group?
Yeah, I mean, we're a full scale company, right? In every aspect. And so, we have things like our OZ fund. So it's for people that have capital gains, whether they sell a property, sell a business, if they sell some stock and they have capital gains. So our opportunity zone fund is a way for them to defer their taxes for 5 years. And if they leave it in there 10 years, all money they make while it's in there is not taxed. So, that's a really cool thing for our members. We have our other alternative investments that, we've invested in ourselves that make money that we expose and open them up to. We have the education that we're constantly doing on, wealth tactics and wealth building, and whether that's becoming, your own bank, or it's, other tools that we find for asset protection. We give you a full scale of what we know, it takes to build wealth, to retire, to protect yourself. It's really terrible if you built wealth and you end up giving all of your money to Uncle Sam, right? I really believe that we should pay taxes, but I also believe you should pay the right amount of taxes. It's really sucky if you build a bunch of wealth and then somebody sues you and you lose it. And so these are all things we set up, our members for. We're incredibly protected as a company. We keep ourselves ironclad protected. And so for us, it's all about, making sure our investors have the same ability to protect themselves.
Right. They also have networking opportunities, right? Like,
yeah, I mean, they get to meet each other. I mean, we were, believe in being transparent and real. So we do our retreats, and our inner circle members know each other. They get to meet each other, right? Like, Youngming, one of the fascinating things, because, you've become such a fan of ours. We had a lot of, Chinese speaking, a lot of Chinese investors at our most recent retreat. And, that was really cool because they were able to talk to each other and network and socialize. We brought Eva onto our team, as a investor relations consultant who has, is completely fluent in Mandarin, and, she has a strong, long background in working with Chinese investors. And so we brought her onto our team, and she does a great job with non-Mandarin issues and investor relations, but she also, does a great job with, with our investors who, need that little bit of extra, language help. So.
Yeah. So can you explain a bit about what's the difference between investing in your REIT and become an inner circle member?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's the difference between investing in the whole and the diversification of the portfolio of the REIT. And our REIT, has made, roughly, a 30%, plus return for the last 3 years. But right now we're in a pretty magical window, with the individual deals. An individual deal for us right now is making anywhere from 60 to 80% return on investment. I don't think we're going to be able to do that forever. I think we have a window right now for the next 2 years. It's a pretty magical time where lenders are giving us 80% loan to value. Where lenders are paying for 100% of our rehabs. And that's part of the benefit of being at the inner circle member is you'll never pay for a rehab while you're in it, unless, the world changes or the market changes. But, we're in this window, and I believe it's a real strong 2-year window to be able to do those kind of deals. And what I mean is, let's say it's a $300,000 property. Well, on a $300,000 property, we're going to give, $60,000 down. And that's it. You know, as a inner circle member, you would pay $30,000. We would pay $30,000. Now let's say there's $100,000 rehab. You're never going to have to come out of the pocket for that because our lender gives us all the construction costs. We upfront it as a company for you. And then our lenders reimburse us on the construction costs. Now, a property that, you know, we put $60,000 into, and, you know, we bought it for $3 million, we put $100K rehab into it. Now it's a $400K property, right? It's now worth $500K. Now you take off closing costs and everything else. And, you know, it's very easy for us on a property, you know, we've put $60,000 to $70,000 into. To make, you know, $100,000 on a deal like that is fairly common for us. Now, I say that, you know, we usually average 68 to 80%, you know, on our deals, and that's pretty normal. And it's investing in a single individual deal as an inner circle member. It's your deal. And that's a little bit different in the real, where they're our deal. And you're, you know, a part of the whole. You might be, you know, a small percentage of 300 properties, which is another great way to do investing. You know, I think there's more risk in an inner circle deal, but we've never had an inner circle member lose money on a deal ever. But there's also more reward and the potential to make, you know, a much higher return. With our REIT, my belief is there's a little bit less risk because you're diversified against the whole portfolio. Now, like I said, past performance doesn't indicate future performance, and any investing is always, you know, with a certain amount of risk. So what you've got to do is, you know, calculate that risk and max between, you know, high risk, moderate risk, low risk, you know, with your investing, and create, you know, a balanced portfolio. A lot of REIT investors are inner circle members, and all of our inner circle members are REIT investors. So I don't think we have a single inner circle member that's not invested in the REIT. So it's kind of a balance. I think inner circle is just a little more exclusive.
Yeah, one aspect I understand is, as a inner circle member, you can learn as much as you want, or do as much as you want. But if you invest in REIT, it's passive.
It's very passive. Now, we do recalls, you know, on a monthly basis to give you an update call. We want you to know what's going on, what's happening, what we're investing in, what the changes are, what the returns are, right? I mean, you know, just today we came out with our fourth quarter reporting for 2021, right? And so we just hit the 40% mark for 2021. So like the news is literally today news, which is, I'm humbled. You know, that my team could perform that well, that my team could be that successful, that our investors could make that kind of return. Because I'll tell you, even myself, 5 years ago or 10 years ago, I never would have felt that, you know, 40%, you know, was achievable as we hit maturity, as we were doing as many deals as we were doing, as we're growing as fast as we're growing. You know, I just feel, you know, amazing. I mean, I'm happy. I'm ecstatic. I mean, I am a competitor. I do want to beat my competitors. I don't worry about competitors in the sense, like, I'm not worried about what they do, but I know that I want to beat them. And I know I want to get better returns. And I know that I want to be better at real estate than anybody else in the country. And those who are, you know, colleagues, I want to support them and, you know, for them to be great. But it doesn't mean that I don't want our company and our team to be the very best. There's only one Olympic gold medalist, and, you know, that's what we strive for every single day.
Yeah, you mentioned metaverse several times. So you are in the researching stage right now, or you already bought land in metaverse?
So we have a goal this month that we'll acquire $100,000 worth of land in the metaverse. The last, you know, 90 days we've been in the research stage. And doing our due diligence and creating a wide scope. Metaverse is a little different, right? I don't have to go out and find a seller that's, you know, wants to sell me under market and those kind of things. So it's more about choosing the right opportunities. But, you know, you analyze, you know, metaverse very similar to you analyze real world real estate. And so for me, it's all about location, right? That's always number one in real estate. Number two, it's about what is the growth potential. And so in the metaverse, we take in a lot of other factors to understand growth potential, right? How good are they at their gamification? What is their longevity plan? What is their ability to do marketing and advertising to continue to grow? How good are their technologists, right? And the creators behind it? How good are their programmers? And so, you know, we're factoring in all the aspects on how good they are, how excited they are, and what is their track record and history of success, you know, before we make our decisions. But just like anything we do in real estate, we'll be diversified. And so, it's something that, is kind of fun for us, because it's not like, 100,000 is, not even 1% of 1% of our portfolio, right? It's a very, very small portion of what we do. But it is something, we're going to do, and we're going to dive deep in so we can create, a deep understanding. For us, R&D is everything, research and development. And I think a lot of real estate companies don't focus on research and development. They find one type of real estate to do, and then they try to do that as best as they can for as long as they can, and they hope the ceiling never crumbles. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the ceiling crumbles. And if you're not prepared for it to crumble, you're not going to be good at this game. I'll give you a great example. The office space industry is very much going to crumble in the next 24 months. It's going to take a massive dip. If you have stock in an office space REIT, sell it. 100%. This is my sell signal. This is me telling you, sell it. If you're in a mixed portfolio, right, and they own office REITs or they own offices, consider selling it. And here's what I understand is I've been in this game a long time, and I know there's office REITs that are buying and selling to each other to hold their market price. I know there's millions on top of millions of empty office space that is out there that is currently leased. And when those leases end, they're not renewing. And so it's going to be a bloodbath. And so these are things that I know that I'm prepared for and we're prepared to capitalize on. And so, you have to be adaptable. You have to understand the lay of the landscape, and you have to see the predictors of what's coming in. If you can't see, what's happening in the marketplace, it's because you're not paying attention or you don't understand how to see it.
Yeah, I'm trying to understand metaverse as well. So how do you make money with lands in metaverse? You can expect its appreciation, and also you can rent it out, right?
I mean, the easiest way to understand is appreciation, right? I mean, you can buy assets and put them on your land in the metaverse, which can increase the value of your land. You can lease them or rent them out to make money. But reality is, I think our play right now is to choose the right targets, purchase them where we know we're going to go through appreciation. And that is the best way to explain it in layman's terms. There's more complicated ways of explaining it, but that's the easiest way.
Okay.
People who talk complicated are trying to confuse people, and they don't really know what they're doing. If you try to make things simple, then people can understand it and they can make their own decisions.
Yeah. I think, okay. So I think one last question I'd like to add is, how much capital would someone need so how much capital would someone need so that the inner circle would make sense for them?
Yeah, I mean, well, there's the REIT and there's the inner circle, right? With the REIT, you can join the REIT for as little as $1,000 investment. And, we tried to make that open to non-accredited investors across. Of course, there's a lot of accredited investors in the REIT, but we wanted to make it open, to the masses, to the general public, to have a place to be able to invest in something, they can believe in. The inner circle is a little bit different. It's a little more exclusive club. I can't help the world with the inner circle. And what I mean by is there's only so much bandwidth and so much ability to help people. So like currently our inner circle is closed, and we develop a waiting list for people to come in. And once they join the waiting list, about every 4 months, we open up the inner circle to new members. And depending on our deal flow and depending on what's going on in the marketplace, look, we're only bringing people in that we know we can make money. It's just the way we have to do the inner circle. If you don't have a minimum of a total of 100K, to be able to invest in the inner circle is probably not a good fit for you right now. And I don't want you to take that as, hey, I don't want to help people who have less money. It's just a factor of how that game works. And so, I want to help the people that I can help. And that's why, the REIT also exists, and the two have a great marriage. The REIT works with the inner circle, and the inner circle works with the REIT, and they work together hand in hand. And so it's really a great marriage. I'm very happily married. And I think the REIT is also, a really great marriage too. So it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You good, brother?
Yeah. I
think you're asking them good today. So, I always appreciate you coming and, doing this due diligence and this homework for your students and investors. Really, you're a great thought leader. You're a great man on how you care for your people, Young. And, I'm always happy to jump on and answer questions for you and talk with you. So I appreciate you. And I look forward to the next time we get to hang out.
Yeah, me too. And I'm thinking we can create a web page, the landing page use right now is in English. How we can change it to Chinese so that it's more friendly to our
I'm sure
members.
Eva, I bet you Eva would help you with that. She's pretty fantastic.
Yeah, we can also put some of our interviews, the interview videos on that page. Yeah, that would be much informational to our members.
Well, brother, I appreciate you. I got date night with my wife, and so I am going to run fast and furious. And I just did another panel for about an hour plus right before this, so I'm talked out. But I appreciate you, and we'll talk to you soon.
Okay, sure. Thank you.